Well, then what do you hate the most? The feeling of helplessness? The lack of control over one's life? Darian replies without thinking, then adds with an obvious sarcasm. And onion rings, of course. I'd murder the person who came up with those abominations. I kind of like onion rings, but with peppercorn sauce. So, we're gonna... I did notice something interesting. So, during kind of hitting my stop to record button, I did this. And I noticed, who the fudge is that? Obviously, we just acquired him. But it was like, wait, who are you? So we have another character. Does that mean we have loads of new characters? No, it's okay then. So yeah, yeah. I was just kind of, who are you? Exit area outside. I'm gonna go talk to the people who want to talk to me, like the Inquisition.
Without a doubt.
Oh, look, there's our prestidigitation. It's gonna illusionize my stuff. We are still really encumbered. Is it because we're like holding everything? No, I think we look great how that looks now. I'm fine. Honestly, I'm fine with how we look at the moment. Is it because we're so... Like, if I take this off... Yeah, it does. Okay. So, here's the thing. Right, we're gonna keep finishing. That's 3 to 14. That's 2 to 9. I don't know, it made a... I'm gonna sell some of this gear, unless... Yeah. Oh, wait. It's 212. We can get rid of that. Okay, we'll do that. You're pretty heavy as well. That's because of the heavy mace of fire. You're pretty light. You're pretty light. You're pretty light. You're pretty light. Pretty light. Pretty light. I'm still very medium though. But it could be because I'm fully kitted out. But we'll be alright now. So, can we actually now have conversations with people? We can. Ember is bobbing her head and humming a tune. She greets you with a carefree, cheerful smile, her wandering eyes linger on you for just a moment before darting off again into the distance. How are you handling your new abilities? Abilities? The girl tilts her head to her shoulder. What are you talking about? Oh, the tricks you learned when the big grey house blew up? Oh, they're funny. Thanks for teaching them to me. The Queen gave me the title of Knight Commander and put me in charge of an army. What do you think about that? The elf focuses her wondering gaze on your eyes, smiles and shakes her head. I don't believe titles. All of us in the world are children of the streets, barefoot, hungry and scared, a step away from death. Some imagine they're strong and rich like gods, but don't forget who you really are behind the title. I mean, she's got a good point. So go! The elf watches you with a radiant smile as you leave. Okay.
Forwards.
Ding! Something dinged! Could it be that? Is that what dinged? My horse Wait. I don't know, can I actually wear heavy armor? Right, now we can speak to Lan. And what brings you here? What do you think of what happened in the Grey Garrison? Did you feel a change in yourself? It's hard not to notice when the demons start running away from you like a flock of frightened bats. Power granted by Imade to defeat demons? Lan raises his hand above his head pensively, scratches behind a single horn. Since I was a kid, I've taken what I've been given and used it as best as I can. Anything goes when you're trying to survive. It doesn't matter where the blessings come from. We can think about that when we're old, if we live that long. But this time, even I'm not so sure. A divine power that just appears out of nowhere? Sooner or later, we're going to have to pay for it. I'd like to know what the price will be. Okay. Well, that's what he feels about that. Right. Is this the dude, the Inquisition dude? The knight is so absorbed in reading a letter that he takes no notice of her or anything around him. He smiles and seems like he's about to kiss the paper. Yikes. This curl! Okay, that's, Jana. Okay, they're not speaking to us, really. There's Sela.
Hello. So, what do you reckon about everything that's come crashing down on us? All the responsibility, command, this new power?
I haven't quite figured it out yet. We'll see what happens next.
Watching and waiting is a good strategy. Probably. I'm still frightened by what happened in the Grey Garrison. Were we really chosen? By Iomade herself?
Well, we were, you dead.
You know, back when I was a snot-nosed kid who just started down the path to becoming a paladin, I imagined once or twice that I was going to do something heroic. The lights would shine down on me, the trumpets would sing, I'd hear the voice of the goddess, or at least her herald, you know? I'd be informed that I had been chosen for a great cause. But that's the point where my imagination always failed me. Somehow, it really happened. Without all the trumpets or the herald or even anyone explaining what I had to do. Though it's clear as day, my place is here, in this demon-ridden wound. Quite a lovely war going on, in fact. Endless, I hear. I'm gonna need some time to wrap my head around this. Spare me an hour and I'll crawl into some dark corner and whine about my hard lot. What can I tell you? I cry easily.
Same. I'm with you on that one, same. I cry way too easy. Okay.
Hello again. I'm very pleased to meet you. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
A young cleric stands before an easel, his brush hovering over the canvas, without touching it. Instead of painting, the young man absent-mindedly gazes at the sky of Kennebrace, which is still streaked with towering plumes of black smoke. Finally, he notices you and smiles, shaking off his stupor.
It's a pity I wasn't there at the Grey Garrison to witness your feats of strength with my own eyes. The flash, however, could be seen miles and miles away. Some people were frightened of it, thinking that the demons had blown up the remains of the keep. I, for one, knew immediately that it was a good sign. The light above the city showed us that there was still hope.
Who are you, and how could you possibly be of any use to my army?
My name is Sozio Vanek. I am a cleric of Shaylin, the Eternal Rose and the Goddess of Beauty. Yes, I know that many people would consider me useless in a war. This is not a usual war, though. Just consider our enemy. The Abyss and his demons are the very embodiment of everything evil and ugly in the world. Perhaps a disciple of kindness and beauty might come in handy.
Perhaps.
I have no doubt that we will win this war, Commander. We just have to. It is our destiny. My role is to help you, and all those standing by your side in this struggle, to survive and flourish. Everyone deserves the chance to find peace and happiness in the world that they are defending so selflessly.
What are you painting? The cleric's eyes linger mournfully at the canvas. The unfinished painting depicts a temple crowned with a rainbow-tailed bird, the symbol of Shaylin. 5 people dressed in robes stand before the temple, men and women, young and old. They all gaze back at you with radiant happiness and joy in their serene eyes.
My brothers and sisters in faith. They sent me for help and then... they saved my life, Commander. If the Prioress hadn't ordered me to escape the city and seek help, I would have died right along with them. Instead, I met Queen Galfrey on my way to Nerosian, and hurriedly returned to Canabris, only to find my friends dead on the steps of our desecrated temple. I want to draw them the way they live on in my memory. Wise, beautiful, and loyal to their goddess and their city to the very end.
This is why you have to treasure every moment you spend with ones you love. Today you're together, but who knows what tomorrow may bring.
You're right. I took their company for granted and never even imagined that they might just disappear in the blink of an eye. So many words left unspoken. Now it's my duty to make sure my friends and tutors did not die in vain. I will honor their sacrifice by making this world a bit more beautiful and kind.
What made an artist enlist in the army?
Perhaps I am a true artist, or simply an amateur who defaces canvases in my spare time.
Same.
My goddess is a patron of art, so painting is part of my prayer, and I put all my heart into my pieces. But I am a cleric above all else, so I must also tend to others. I went to war because here's where I'm most needed. Sure, I could be painting idyllic landscapes and offering empty prayers to my goddess, but that won't stop people from dying. My goddess has no tolerance for false piety.
You wanted to discuss something with me, right?
Yes, I have a personal request. Before we undertake our journey and leave Canabris behind, I would like to visit Martyr Zacharias' cemetery for a funeral. It's not far from here, and it's important. I would like to pay my respects to my friends from the Temple of Shaylin who died defending the city. Also, if it's not too much trouble, I would like you to come with me to honor their memory. Their friends and family will be at the funeral, and perhaps the commander's personal presence will bring them comfort.
Or perhaps they'll shout at me and tell me why I didn't act sooner?
I know that you are burdened by many cares right now, so I understand if you can't find the time. But if you could, I would be sincerely grateful.
It was very nice meeting you. Now I have to go.
You must be rather busy indeed. Leading a crusade all by yourself is no joke. I still believe that you are up to the task. This war has been raging for 100 years, but you've given us a chance at victory.
Great. I do feel sorry for my character. Commander? The tall man with piercing yellow-green eyes gives you a brief nod. Let me personally congratulate you on your new title, and thank you for your time in advance. I am Leota Hawkblade, an Inquisitor of the Church of Aimode, the bringer of light. I require your assistance in a certain delicate matter involving one of your companions, young Count Darian of Arende. Are you one of Prelate Halvran's followers? Leo's face freezes for a moment, but he nods. Yes, of course. What is your opinion of his atrocities? Leotor is silent for a while. Usually people reveal such things about themselves only to their confessor, not to some curious stranger. Still, I did ask for your help, and that imposes certain obligations upon me. Let me put it like this. I spent enough years by Prelate Halvran's side to learn how to keep him from going over the line. He was an extraordinary man, the vengeful sword of our goddess in human form. He was fighting in the vanguard, fearlessly taking down demons, exposing the cultists' plots all by himself. He had served the Inquisition twice as long as I have, and eventually his own paranoia and monumental sense of responsibility eroded his mind. May Imode guard his soul. Where were you during the attack on Canabris? I was on the hunt. A very successful one, but as often happens in life, this minor success was a mere harbinger of a larger failure. If I hadn't been so far away from Kennebrace on the day of the attack, I might have been able to help my comrades prevent numbers of deaths. I'm not going to tell him that I killed him, because it's lawful and I'm Catholic. Thank you for your answer. It is not an easy topic for me. I prefer not to discuss this again. Oh, no. What brings you here? I ask you to assist the Church of Imode. Imode. It sounds like a laxative. I am Mode. The Church of the Goddess in an investigation of the utmost importance. I understand that the leader of the Crusades has plenty of other matters to attend to, but please allow me to tell you the details. Perhaps it will explain why I am calling upon you. The Inquisitor's open face instantly reveals his feelings. He frowns and looks through you, lost in his thoughts of the moment. I suppose you have already heard about Count Arunday's story. I refer to the tragedy of Heaven's Edge estate. No, I already know what happened. Demons came, people died. You're going to investigate this old case again, aren't you? Yes, I am. I have several reasons to doubt the widely shared account of what exactly happened at the estate and how it happened. You see, Commander, I am among those sent to examine the estate after the incident. I saw everything with my own eyes, and I still remember it clearly, even though it feels like it happened a lifetime ago. Heaven's Edge was a unique place that still carried the spirit of the old Mendev before the World Wound, and yet on that day it turned into a labyrinth of house of horrors, something only seen in our nightmares. Apologies for the digression. I wanted to tell you about my suspicions. Everything about the incidents seems odd. Why was there only one person left alive, a young boy with a newfound talent for divine magic? Why did nobody send to Kennebrace for help, even though the agony spanned many hours? We found the demons dead, with their heads cut off, and when we got into the estate, how were they defeated? How did the disease kill even the paladins present at the estate, who are said to be immune to any disease? If the demons had found a way to penetrate the holy warrior's defenses, why has this never been repeated since the tragedy at Heaven's Edge? You are the only person who can help me here, Commander, because the only living witness of those events is currently serving in your army. Your army's route will take you near the very site of tragedy. Heaven's Edge has been abandoned and sealed with potent magic throughout all these years, and only the Count has the power to break that seal. He is unlikely to invite an inquisitor inside, and in any case he won't like me sniffing around his family seat. But if you, as his commander, express your wish to visit the estate, he will be obliged to fulfill it, and I will simply follow you as one of your attendants. There are hundreds of ways, thousands of paths, and myriad of loopholes in human lives that the forces of evils can use to their advantage. I am not sure which one of those led the demons to the gates of Heaven's Edge, but I do know it wasn't a simple raid the kind crusaders face every day. That incident involved a significantly more powerful entity, and that is why I am asking for your help. We cannot be sure such a tragedy will not happen again until we uncover the truth. Are you telling me that Darian, our dearly sarcastic playboy Darian, is going to turn out to be some, I don't know, god-awful demon, like the embodiment of chaotic power? Because, I kind of dig that. You've already been to the States several times. What do you expect to find now? I was a young and inexperienced inquisitor when I first visited Heaven's Edge 10 years ago. My skills have improved significantly since then, and I paid dearly for that. Loiter makes a vague gesture pointing at his scars. My arsenal includes many spells and techniques dedicated to gathering information about people and events. Almost all of them require me to be physically present in a place where the event question happened. That is why I must return to Heaven's Edge. Why can't you just search the estate yourself without involving me? The estate is abandoned and sealed with a powerful containment enchantment that only the Count himself can lift. This is not the main reason, however. The main reason is that the Count Arendelle is not officially under the investigation by the Inquisition. So I couldn't just break into his house, even if I found a way to bypass the spell. This is a serious matter, Leitor frowns. A matter that threatens the reputation of the entire Church of Imode, and my own organization in particular. We made more than enough unforgivable mistakes during the Third Crusade, and we are still dealing with their consequences. Your presence will give my investigation the necessary legitimacy, Commander. But there is more. In addition to getting official permission, I'd also like to bring an independent third-party investigator to this case. Someone independent, but well-respected, and you fit this role perfectly. Did you question Darren himself? I did. But the Count insisted he couldn't remember anything about the incident due to a severe shock. He saw the demons at the very beginning when they appeared at the celebration to announce the onset of the plague and mock their victims. He also witnessed the death of his mother, Countess Selenia. That was all he would tell me. Leetior pauses. We had found the young Count sleeping like a log on the floor in one of the rear chambers, having drunk about half the family's wine cellar all by himself. There is no reason to disbelieve him on that matter. So you suspect that Darian is hiding something? That he is to blame for this tragedy? I deliberately refuse to entertain any theories or suspicions so that it doesn't affect the investigation. There is a saying among my colleagues that suspicion is the mother of prejudice, and prejudice is married with failure. I can only tell you that Count Arde wasn't suffering from demonic possession, the most common malaise in our country at the time. Prelate Halloran himself examined the boy right after the tragedy, and he didn't sense anything aware with him. Fine, I will help you. What do you need me to do? Leotir bows his head to you with an exceptional reverence. Thank you, Commander. Now I ask you to speak to the Count and tell him that you wish to see Heaven's Edge. Please do not inform him of my presence right away. I will join your escort when the time to travel to his state, but when we get there I will also require your help during the investigation. You will have to follow me, observing my actions as an independent witness. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask me, and I will remain here for a while. Okay. So, oh, wait, are you like a... Oh, you are like a shop. So we can actually get rid of some of these weapons then that are a little bit too heavy for us. What weapons can he use? So he can use anything but these. Because I need him to have something more of than a stabby weapon. No. What is he currently using? A light one. We should buy him a cold one. I'm trying to think whether or not we should give him... I'm going to have him on our team. I do believe we're going to have him on our team. Okay. Wilson Garms. Okay, what the hell just happened there? I wasn't... what? The burly soldier with an impressive beard greets you with a broad smile. Wilson of Garms, the camper courtmaster at your service. How may I ever be of help? I saw you talking to a girl hiding her face. Who was she and what did she want? I don't know, Commander. She never introduced herself, but I bet she's not part of our army. I know all our soldiers by name and sight. Wilson frowns gloomily, his quarterly gone in an instant. She was looking for some elf volunteer, wanted to know which tent he was sleeping in. At first I thought she was just a messenger from Endev. She definitely wasn't one of us, but now I see how it looks all a bit mighty shifty. Quartermaster eyes you with concern. She was, some sort of spy then. Could you tell me where you kind of pointed her? What did the soldiers think of the new commander? Oh, they mostly tell stories about your unusual power, but they don't shy away from talking about you as a person too. Soldiers are always like that. If Imodea herself is descended from heaven, you bet they'd jabber on about how she grips the sword and how good she looks in her armour. Word is you spent more time in the wilderness than in the cities. That you can read tracks on the ground better than any book and tell the weather 30 days ahead by the shape of the clouds, and that means you're following into the wound isn't a scary thing to do. Okay, I have to go. Wolf Chief, did you see the lady? Hey, Chief, want to talk? Now, what do you think of our new powers? Wolf Chief pauses to think, rubbing his chin. You mean what you did back there? I have a few ideas. We could send you a pit tax underground arena to fight. Give you a scary name like Swift Sting or something like that. Give you a great cover story. Enemies burn down your house. You're avenging your dead family. The public eats stuff like that. You'll wear a shiny, eye-catching outfit. Or a black one if you like black better. We'll split the prize money, 60-40. 60 for me, of course. You know, arranging fights isn't easy. Those people are tough. I'll be taking more risks than you. And after we get up to Pitax, we'll tour different cities, make some real money. What, you don't like the sound of it? Do you have any other suggestions? Wolf Jiff grins, his yellow eyes lighting up. I got one more. Have you heard of Razmaran? It's some land in the River Kingdom ruled by King Razmir. A friend of mine used to live in Razmaran. He got out of there as fast as he could. Long story short, this King Razmir of theirs is a god. He keeps the people under his heel. They're all terrified of what he might do. He sits on his throne wearing some white mask, giving power to anyone. Come and take power from me, he says, so long as you believe in me. Wolfjick quickly checks that no one is eavesdropping. But that friend of mine, the one who fled, has a half-sister on his old man's side who cooks in a castle, and a washerwoman who plays cards with in the evening, told her juicy rumor. Word is, Razmir isn't a real god at all, and he's got no powers. So here's my point. You do have powers, pretty scary ones too. We'll find some shabby little kingdom. I'll start some rumors, you'll show up a few tricks to wow the locals, and that's it. We'll make you a deity. But first, I want you to put it in writing that I'll be your chief advisor. Now, I'm not doing anything just on the nod. I've been there. People promise you a mountain of gold, and then when it comes to it, they're all get lost. Well, I'll set the dogs on you, so, do you like the idea? Oh, we're gonna go chaos. It's a great idea. Well, get to work on it just as soon as we get out of this mess. Wolfjiff rubs his hands, please. I am gonna make you such a legend. You'll love it. A survivor in Canterbury becomes a goddess. We'll make you a cult that'll put Imodades to shame. In the meantime, you can think about what you want on your coins. And my insurance, don't forget to write the declaration making me your chief advisor. Okay, well, we just get the chief advisor. There you go. Hogwarts Gwyrm has been expecting you. Thumbs stuck in his belt. Ah, there you are. I've been waiting. As you see, I too have joined the crusade. I don't know how to swing a sword, but war is costly, and I have money. Besides, my intellect and business sense may prove useful even on the battlefield. Besides, I believe... Hogwarts shifts awkwardly from foot to foot. I believe I owe you an apology. The way I behaved was rude, ill-mannered. You are an honest and honourable person. You've clawed your way up from the bottom of society to the title of Knight Commander. And you are friends with Queen Galfrey herself. Such persistence deserves respect. Horgus tilts his head in a brief acknowledgement of your merits. Please allow me to give you this magic amulet from my humble personal treasury to mark our future cooperation. Aren't you afraid I'll reveal your secrets to everyone? Are you fretting with me? I've invested a lot of money in your crusade, and I will invest even more. And yet you think to humiliate me in front of everyone? That's not going to work. If a scandal breaks out, wouldn't it be your word against mine? And I've been known as Hogwarts Worm for several decades. I own a vast estate outside Canterbury, and I share of local quarry. I will defend my good name to the end. Your claim will seem like a vile slander. I'll see to that. Horgress's face becomes blotchy and his eyes nearly pop out of their sockets. He calms himself with a visible effort. However, I do hope it won't come to any of that. We're all here for a common cause, victory over the demons, and I intend to see the business through. Why have you decided to support the crusade now? With all due respect, that is none of your business. I have my reasons. Perhaps I felt a rush of patriotism when Canterbury was destroyed. Anyways, why would you think I had never supported the Crusaders? Perhaps I simply don't like to brag about my donations. Ostentatious charity only attracts beggars, and I'd wager that Isabel has no idea whose money she's spending on drinks and supplies. What can you tell me about Count Darian Arundel? The nobles of Canterbury should be acquainted with each other, shouldn't they? He is a brilliant young man with a brilliant pedigree. That story of his. The nobility is the glue what keeps our society together. I suppose that is why demons so often choose their estates as primary targets. Who would notice demons' bloody massacre of only slaughtered poor country folks? The Arundel family shared the tragic plight of the Worms, along with many other members of nobility. They fell victim to treacherous attacks during a major celebration take place at their family estate. I hadn't received an invitation and was slightly insulted by the snub, but it turned out to be a blessing in the disguise. The gods saved me from a terrible fate. All guests died that day from magical demonic disease. I sympathize with Count deeply. He has endured so much, and there's no wonder he keeps himself aloof from me. I think this is due to the fact that Hogwarts Worm's fate so resembles his own, and we both have to relive those horrible memories whenever we see each other. But I have to go. He had loot behind him. Ha! So what does she think of the powers she received from me? People of noble descent grow accustomed to ample opportunity. The powers I received from you are useful, but I see no point in treating them with excessive piety. Wow. I won't keep you. Wow. Okay. Hello. Hello nods approvingly. You've earned yourself You've earned the title Commander. Canterbury still stands thanks to you. We have to be doubly on your guard. Your eminence places a target on your back, and there are assassins about. Killing a high-ranking crusader would bring a demon far more prestige than killing a common soldier. Not long ago, I stymied a few of the Spinners and Nightmares' attempts on the lives of influential crusaders, so I know what I'm talking about. Which influential crusaders did you say from the Spinners' Nightmares? I'd been hunting the Spinner of Nightmares for over a year. My agents, by that time I created proper network, reported me that she had returned to Nirasan. I immediately suspected that she was planning a great atrocity. By that time, I'd learned all too well that the Spinner was a master of illusions and charms. That's why I never left the house without this. Halo takes a monocle from his pocket and puts it on carefully. This is the Eye of Truth. It allows me to see through illusions. My friend got it from the priests of Nephis. However, neither this monocle nor my network of agents were adequate to prevent the attack, and we were nearly too late. The Spinner of Nightmares decided to strike at the Cruciform Cathedral. They had gathered there to celebrate the victory of the First Crusade. It was a great holiday, and there was lavish ceremony at the cathedral. An influential priest, Antholoticus, was in charge of the festivities. They were intending to crown him with a tiara, a symbol of his high status, but the sacred tiara had been replaced. The Spinner had obtained an Inculitus, a sentient and rather ominous cephalopod from the other end of the world. She raised it from an elver and trained it carefully. And she cast an illusion on it so that everyone would see it as a tiara. The moment its shell was placed on their Amphilochlytus head, the cephalopod would release its tentacles and penetrate the priest's skull. Its poison would seep into his brain, and it would seize control over Amphilochlytus's dead body. Fortunately, we were able to stop this madness in time, and I spotted the spinner of nightmares in the crowd, chased her down, and ended up crossing swords on the roof of the cathedral. I nearly defeated her, but she fled upon a giant stallion, which was able to run across the air as if it were on the ground. I was so close to catching her. She suffered a setback, but I let her escape. Hillel's bitter and angry smile shows he hasn't made peace with his failures. Okay. I'm actually still... I'm looking for Darian. No, we spoke to Dan. We've already spoke to Dan. Oh, he's all the way over here. Okay. Wait, well... There you are. May I ask you a few personal questions? You can try. I've heard stories about the tragedy that befell your family. Oh, I hope you don't feel obliged to offer me your sincere condolences on this unfortunate occasion. My whole family, my entire noble line, they all died. And the demons are to blame. It's not like I actually loved any of my relatives, except for my mother, but what's gone is gone. The family's crypt are full of corpses, all covered in dust and the shadows of the past. What do you most cherish in life? There are far too many things that I cherish to fit them all into a single conversation. Believe it or not, but I might be one of the most life-loving people you've ever known. Darian smiles, his eyes gleaming with something different from his usual impudence and irony. There's a dreamy air about him all of a sudden. I rarely meet anyone who braces the joys of living as enthusiastically as myself. There are so many exciting and beautiful things in the world. It should be illegal to waste your time on anything you do not enjoy, and I am not afraid to repeat that to anyone's face. Should it be a Discari and his demonic herd, or Imade, the Lightbringer herself? Well, then what do you hate the most? The feeling of helplessness? The lack of control over one's life? Darian replies without thinking, then adds with an obvious sarcasm. And onion rings, of course. I'd murder the person who came up with those abominations. I kind of like onion rings, but with peppercorn sauce. Sorry. You don't seem especially keen on helping people, but your knowledge of healing is truly impressive. What prompted your interest in that? If you really want to try out everything life has to offer, you also have to understand how to deal with the consequences. And I'm not talking about a simple hangover, mind you. Do you have any good stories about your past exploits? Oh, I've got plenty, but I have to warn you that even the most outrageous debauchery sounds far less thrilling when you were not the one doing the debauching. Still, since you've asked, I suppose the worst mess I've ever got myself into was when I staged my own kidnapping. I was once in correspondence with one of the Riverland nobles, young Lord Lebeda, and he told me about his days as hostage to a group of bandits. Well, this made me wonder what it would be like. I thought that it might be fun to set up a little experiment. I engineered my own kidnapping by a certain gang through a chain of intermediaries and hired actors. Those fellows took the job very seriously. They caught me by surprise, killed 2 of my bodyguards, and even tied me up. Of course, the whole thing seemed preposterous now, but it seemed like an ingenious idea at the time. The employers had told the kidnappers that they were to keep me safe and sound. Another group of mercenaries in disguise was watching the spectacle from afar, ready to interfere in case anything went wrong. It turned out to be a terrible idea nonetheless. It wasn't the least bit fun or exciting. Sure, those bandits had been unable to torture or hurt me physically in any way, but they had plenty of other non-invasive methods of humiliation in their arsenal. Taking almost all of your clothes off and splashing ice-cold water all over you, for example. Ugh! Can't even remember if I said anything truly offensive to provoke them. And even though I initially planned to let them go after their ransom, their overly emotional reaction made me change my mind. I told my mercenaries to hang them all on the spot. I suppose the whole ordeal taught me a valuable lesson, which is that I am not built for the hardships and trials. I'd say life's too short not to try everything out, sir. I shall console myself without thought. So, that was a stupid story, and now I tell you a truly brilliant one. Prelate Hulrun had always strictly prohibited any public celebrations in Canterbury's, and he always picked on me for the lack of respect for the fallen and whatnot. His grumbling annoyed me so much that one day I drove 4 barges into the city harbour and set up a celebration on their decks. The ships on the river didn't fall under the prelate's jurisdiction, you see, so all he could do was snarl at me from the embankment. I, for one, did not forget the old boy. The main attraction of the festivities involved an imposition of a melody, dancing and roasting beautiful witches on illusionary bonfires, taking off his clothes with every new victim. The spectacle was so heated, in every sense of the words, that the prelate almost had a stroke. Darian gives you a mischievous smile. I will consider that one of my finest ideas of all time. Should the Crusaders ever succeed in their efforts against the Whirlwind, I will do my utmost to get permission to hold a grand public celebrations, rivers of wine free of charge, and an obligatory parade and carnival in the evening. Contest for the most provocative succubus costume with a hefty prize in gold. Another contest where the participants have to fish out a sausage out of a wine jar blindfolded with their hands tied behind their back. The wine will symbolize the blood of all the dead heroes of the war, and the sausage, well, they'll find a heroic meaning for that. Over the years, the commemoration of the greatest victory of light over darkness will turn into an ordinary holiday, a fine excuse to get sloshed and rot like an animal in the streets. Do you enjoy being mean to everyone? Yes. And here I thought you were hurling insults at people, sorry. And here I thought you were hurling insults at people purely by accident. Darian laughs. This time his smile is surprisingly soft. I like your way with words. What did you expect me to say if I wanted to make a good impression? Something along the lines of, I'm not mean, I'm just being honest with myself and everyone else. It's what people use as an excuse when they want to keep up their saccharine facade, while still saying whatever nasty little thoughts spring into mind. That is not what I do. I have no hidden agenda. I'm just as much of an insufferable prick as I seem to be. Some people are simply begging for a good dose of mockery. So who am I to deny them? I don't give a damn if anyone holds a grudge against me, which is why I don't even try to avoid it. Well, I have no more questions. People say that you are deliberately trying Queen Gallifrey's patience. Is that true? Does it even matter? All of Mendavian's high society has declared war on me. They either despise me, or they're trying to steer me back onto the right path, and I'm doing everything in my power to keep them on their toes. I relish the prospect of all the fun this mess in Canberra's brings me. Darian grins from ear to grin. I shall either commission a song about the great Canterbury's fiasco from a certain talented bard, or confuse the jewelers with a rather tall order, a batch of silver dragon toys with detachable heads. Give me a week and they'll be in every shop in the capital. You should make sure it's really easy to rip off the wings. Your dragon trinket as well. Kids are going to love it. And Darian laughs. So be it. From now on, you are my muse. Now I think it's a good time to do. I'd love to visit Heaven's Edge and see the Iron Day estate someday. Oh, I was just about to mention it myself. I've been thinking, now that I'm in the middle of this whole crusade nonsense, I simply must devise new ways to have fun. With all recent commotions, my birthday completely slipped my mind. what if we were to celebrate it at Heaven's Edge? It's not far from here, and you'll get to enjoy a banquet in a bona fide haunted house. Darian seems to have trouble getting words out, which clearly indicates how rarely he has to ask for anything. Since you're my, superior, and I'm your advisor, I am obliged to ask your permission to leave for the festivities. And I want to invite you too. I'm sure the commander can free up the afternoon while the soldiers are on leave. Are you really going to throw a banquet at the very place where your whole family died? Darian purses his lips for a moment before replying in a bored drawl. Yes. What of it? I am supposed to weep and quake with fear for the rest of my life? I've stayed away from the damned place for 10 years, and now I'm going to return there to drink, dance, and be merry without a care in the world. You can keep your squeamish disapproval to yourself. All right, deal. Perfect! You'll have a ball, I'll make sure of it. Something strange flickers in Darian's smile. Did you also receive a fraction of that unusual power? Looks like it. I genuinely hoped that getting away from you would be the end of it. If your gift truly did come from Medea, then giving me a smidgen of that power was a very subtle joke on her part. I had no idea that our divine Lightbringer of Mendef even had a sense of humor. Don't get me started on many acts of sacrilege against her. That obscene engraving, the truth about the test of the Starstone, is the tamest one so far. Well, I should go now. Goodbye. Well now, we're being invited
We march ahead.
for dinner. We've been invited for dinner. I'm going to drop some more stuff into my box of many things, and then we're going to go and see what the main map gives me. Can we wait for the horse?
Our path leads on.
Waiting for the horse. Okay. And then we're going to see what the map gives us and then make a decision on where to go to after. I don't have much space, but... Oh wait, I didn't give him... I didn't... Hold on. Aha. Excuse me. Yeah, I bought a present for you. Have that. He's already wearing one. When did I get the amulet of blackened mirror? I got it recently. Oh, okay. Okay. We haven't talked to Finian. We may talk to Finian. So let's put that away. We're still really heavy. Why are we? Is it because of all this? Probably. Does this do anything for you? What does it do again? Amulet of Blackened Mirror. Whenever the wearer of this amulet uses a hex. Okay, it's got nothing to do. So she does. Oh no. Here. I don't think you hex anyone, but anyway. I'm still very heavy. I'm medium. I don't know why. I suppose that everything is really freaking heavy on me. Oh, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I've got a horse. I can get on my horse. Anyway, map. We're also going to be bringing new people with us. We're going to take him out. I want to bring Darian. Maybe remove Ember. Now, I love Ember. Ember should be protected at all costs. But I think we should definitely explore a little bit more with her. He's our rogue. He does some nice hitting. Maybe we'll have the new boy in. Okay, so Helmhart campsite. The cemetery. We can go back to Kenabres. Okay, let's hold on. We got Crusades starting out. You can now control armies on the global map. Winning battles against demon forces provide a number of benefits, such as resources to help your economy, relics which can be turned into powerful new items for your party, captured enemy fortifications that previously blocked the advance of your party and your armies. These fortifications can be rebuilt into forts of your own troops. Enemy armies differ in their strength, which is displayed as a number next to the army's name. By hovering over the enemy army, you can learn more about its composition and its reward it is guarding. You can switch between party management and army command modes by clicking the banners at the top of the screen. In the army command mode, you can select armies by either using the panel on the left or clicking the figures on the map. Much like your party, armies use roads to move around the map to move an army. Okay, got it. So we have, so I can move them to take things. Oh, I see. So this should be relatively easy to do. Yes. Relatively easy. Moderately easy. Relatively easy. Moderately. Very difficult. So we level up. Got it. Okay. Okay, I think I can... Right, we're going to test this out. This is hovering. What do we get? Quest. Wipe out band of... So what? How do we do this? Wipe out the band of cultists. I don't know what it wants me to do. I'm not sure what... Maybe I need to do... I don't know what I need to do. I don't know what to do. I'm a little confused.